Hello everybody, my name is Grace and I love arts and crafts. Welcome back to another video. Today in this video I'm going to be doing the A to Z drawing animal challenges. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into the video. So first off guys, here I'm drawing an anteater for A. This was really interesting for me because I've never drawn an anteater before and it was really interesting to get the proportions down of it, so I really enjoyed this one. So I started off by doing the outline of its body, adding in details such as the legs and its body shape, and then I started going in with more details such as its eyes and ears, making more features to bring it all together. And now I start going in with the little marks and little strokes to create texture of fur. And I used graphite for this one, so I was using different hardness and lightness of pressing down on the pencil to create different colours and textures of shading, going in the directions of the fur or the skin goes to give it that 3D effect and really try and bring the anteater to life. So as you can see here, I'm doing like little upward strokes and little lines to try and create that 3D fur effect where it's a little bit thicker on the outside of the legs, and the same here, trying to create that texture and then doing a lighter shading on the inside. And then at the darker areas or more detailed areas, I press down a little bit harder on my pencil to create those darker areas. I'm using a HB graphite pencil from Faber-Castell for this drawing, so if you guys want to check that out, I would highly recommend it. It's a really amazing pencil. So with this bit, you can see I'm just shading it in a light colour and trying to go in the main direction of the fur and trying to create that texture of the curvature in its body. And then afterwards you can see that I start going in with a little bit more detail, thickening that up. And then I start making the outline of the edge bits of fur a little bit thicker, again adding in some strokes to make the fur look a little bit more 3D and textured. And then I'm going in with a few thicker lines everywhere to make that outside fur look a little bit more textured, to give it some definition, and adding a few, dark spots in for shading, which really helps to create the visualization of 3D effect where it would be darker in certain areas. And then finally I added this little layer of dark pattern on the top to add that 3D texture of layered fur, and just darkened it down underneath as it would be. So this is the final product. I really enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So next up we drew a butterfly. I started off with this one with drawing the body and the wings, just sketching it out, trying as much as I can to keep it symmetrical, because that's the whole thing with butterflies, they are symmetrical on both sides to a good degree, so I kept them as even as possible. And then next I went in with the detail on the butterfly, again trying to keep this as symmetrical as possible, adding in these details. I really enjoy drawing these ones, guys, so if you like drawing animals, I would highly recommend this. It's a really good exercise for your eye to watch and draw things. So I next went in with line art because I felt the black on the butterfly needed that extra texture. And then I went in with my Prismacolor coloured pencils, trying to add texture and colour to the butterfly, to its wings. It was a beautiful purple colour. And then I went in with my Jelly Roll pen and added some highlights. I used some pink and purple and blended them together in different ways, and black for the outline. So that's the final product for the butterfly. I think it ended up beautiful with a beautiful texture. Let me know what you guys think down below. So next up I drew this little cat, and I started off just by drawing the outline, a simple sketch of its ears, and started just doing its features so I could figure out where I wanted to place things and how I wanted to do it. So as you can see here, I just started off by doing a little rough outline of the nose and the mouth and of the eyes to give it some look and know what I was working with like so, and just adding those lines in to give me the nose line. Then I went in with my Prismacolor coloured pencils and mixed a light yellow and a green together to get that nice greeny but little bit of yellow hazel coming through in the eyes. Went over with a base of pink and then started adding some brown and orange textures for a ginger cat, and it really started coming together nicely. And I added some strokes in of black and brown to give that fur effect, as I did with the anteater. And this is the final product of the cat. I really like this one, guys. Let me know what you think down below. So, fourth one for D is a deer. It's another graphite sketch using the same HB pencil from Faber-Castell. Simple one, just adding some eyes and a nose in, and then adding these little darker details for creases in its face. And then adding some lighter and darker details for lighter and darker spots where it's shaded in differently. This is the final product of that, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop it down below. So E for elephant. I started off by doing a little bit more of a detailed sketch because elephants have so many different parts and shading to them, so I wanted to make sure to get that right. And I went in with this light grey Faber-Castell Polychromo pencil just to give it some light grey texture wash over. And then for the details and creases in its skin, I went in with this grey dark Polychromos pencil and added some lines to give it texture and crinkle to their skin, because they are very crinkled and have lots of ridges in their skin to give them that sort of almost old looking effect, and I think it turned out really great. Added in some darker spots on the ears behind the head where it's a little bit darker because it's been shaded, and I went along on the ear and added some ridges in the ear. And I think this one turned out really great, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I really like this whole piece. So next up we have F for fox. I really like this one, and the same as the cat, I started out with an outline, sketching out its ears and facial features. I redid the ear a few times just to get it right. And I did the nose. He has a cute little button nose and this little open mouth. And I started off with his nose again, trying to give me that shape to work with so I could do the eyes and get the proportions right. So when I started off with my coloured pencils, I could get that right. To rub out my little sketches so I could still see it, I was using the Faber-Castell kneaded eraser. Highly recommend that, guys, if you are interested in, no eraser shavings, or you still want to erase it but go on top of it. It's an amazing product. So I was doing the same similar thing here as with the cat, doing the eyes and making that texture, trying to go over with these base colours to try and create that effect of different coloured fur, but it all still blends together, and I think it turned out really, really, really great. Adding some highlights in the eyes as well. This is the final product of that, guys. If you like it, leave a like and leave a comment down below. So next up is a giraffe. I really enjoyed this one. Giraffes are one of my favourite animals. Let me know down below what your favourite animals are, guys. So I started off with this one, doing the eyes and the features, and I started off with the head, and I decided later on to do the body, so I drew the body. It was a little bit too thick at the bottom, so I changed it, and then I add the polka dots in and just shade them in nicely. This is still using that Faber-Castell pencil to do the graphite shading. I really like this one. I love the texture. I think they're so amazing with the shading, and I really like how this one turned out. So this one is now a hedgehog, guys. This was a really cute little drawing to do. I really enjoyed this one. I started off by doing the base of it and the face with his little white bits, and then I added the top in the end, just a base outline for sort of circles. And then I went in with that same grey Faber-Castell pencil that I used for the elephant, and just did that on the face and the bottom half because it was more white grey. And then I went in with the black and the brown pencil to add some more details, and the nose with a brown one. And then I brought my Polychromos in, my Prismacolor pens for the spikes on the top of him, and I went with loads of little strokes, and I did this light brown at first, and then I went in with this dark brown to accent it, and then I went in with a light shade of yellow to sort of bring it out as in a skin colour, and added a little bit of white and some highlights. Went back in with his face, added a little bit of brown because he had some brown around his nose and just under his chin. Darkened that up and add some lines on the bottom as well because he has more of a white spiky effect on the bottom. And then I just coloured his feet in a little pinky colour. This is the final product. I think he turned out really, really cute. Let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, so I for iguana, this was really interesting because I've not really seen this animal before, and it's sort of like a lizard chameleon sort of thing. So I found it really interesting to draw. I really enjoy this challenge because it's learning new creatures and animals and, drawing techniques, learning how to do body features and things like that. It's really good, guys, so I would highly recommend it. So as with the other ones, I started off by drawing a base with just the outline and arms and stuff, going in with more features with the spikes, and then I just erased that with my kneadable eraser. I went in with my Prismacolor colour pencils, doing a light base colour of this light green, and then doing these brown stripes that it had going down its back and its tail. And then I went in with a black and some browns to and a deeper green to highlight it, adding some more colours there, and then adding a bit of white highlights, trying to stipple some little effects on there because that's what it seemed to have. I think this one turned out really, really great. He looks like he's about to climb up a tree or something. Really, really cool. Would highly recommend drawing this. So for Jay, I did a jellyfish. It was like this blue clear colour, and it was really interesting experience to draw because I was trying to get that texture of colour but also that clearness and transparentness. Was really interesting. So I think this turned out really well, guys. By adding those deeper lines, it created that almost transparency but also colour. So I think that turned out really, really, really great. So for Kay, it's a cute little koala. I love koalas. I think they're just so fluffy and cute. They're like a little teddy bear. So I started off by doing the outline as usual, and then I went in with his nose and did that. I did these little bits on his face, kind of looked like a wonky mustache, and the eyes, and I didn't quite like how it was going, so I erased that and started again, keeping the same shape for the eyes and the nose. And then I changed up a little bit on the nose, adding a lighter shading and then making it a little bit darker. And then I made sure to leave that bit on the mouth because it made him look a bit grumpy, and then went back in with those curvature features. And then I went in with this sort of rough, scratchy pattern for his fur to give him that fluffy effect, but still really cute. I think it turned out really, really well in the end. And then for these two bits, it was a little bit whiter, so I tried to put some graphite in there down the bottom and then rubbed it in with my finger to try and give it that lighter effect, and then picked it up. That's how he turned out in the end. I think it looked really well. Then Elf the llama. Everybody loves a llama. They're really cute and fluffy. So I started off by doing the base outline again, and then I was doing the sketch of his face. I went in with this light peach colour to start off his face, and then built up the colours as I went, doing black for the eyes and a little bit of brown around it. It's a very interesting colour pattern that this llama had, where it's so light toned but also had those darker colours in there. And then I went over with this yellow to give it a bit of that white, almost creamy colour to it. He had like blue ears, but the fur was going over it, so I tried my best to recreate that, and going in with that sort of strokes of pencil to create that effect of fur. I really like how this one turned out. I think he's super cute. Let me know what you guys think down below. So last but not least for this episode, I drew a monkey. I really like how this one turned out, guys. I think it was a really great way to finish off this challenge for this part. The second part will be up on my channel next week with the rest of the letters. So I started off with a brown and a black, just going in with those darker shades of his fur, adding those details, doing the eyes, putting in some highlights, and then I did that same stroke pattern on the top to create that fur, some skin around his eyes as he had it, and then some grey around more of the bottom half of his face to create sort of that gradient of effect of the fur, and that's the final product. If you guys did like this video, I hope you do subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see next, and if there's any other challenges you'd like me to attempt. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!